Doug, talk about one thing that you said. You stood up there and you said you weren't sure what kind of emotions you were going to feel today.
Yeah.
And talk about that. You pulled up and what? It just hit you.
Well, I got up really early today, and I didn't really work all day yesterday, and in my mind about what was happening, and I just decided to take the long way here. And I was going to get here early, and I decided not to. So it was about a 2-cup trip, and I just disappeared into the rural areas of Delphi, from Delphi to my home, and it was a bit surreal. And then when I pulled into the parking lot, it was really surreal, and it was just peaceful. I just felt, weird. I didn't expect that.
You were visibly emotional up there. Can you talk about that? I mean, you've always said this was personal.
It is personal. It's personal to all of us, and to be able to participate and see the raw emotion, and to see the commitment and the dedication of not just from the state police, but from, the sheriff's office in this county has 12 deputies, I think. The city of Delphi is very small, but it's a wonderful, wonderful community. And just to see the level of commitment at a time when most people would have just walked away is very powerful to me as my career comes to an end. It's very powerful.
Are you confident this is your guy?
The judge signed the probable cause affidavit for the arrest of Richard Allen for 2 counts of murder. Yes.
Do you think there are other people involved?
I'm not going to go there.
There's still speculation out there that investigators should still continue to look, even though he's passed away, at Ron Logan, where the bodies were found.
We're going to keep doing what we've done until there's nothing left for us to do. We're going to keep doing it.
I was looking back at my old notes from I have notebooks. I have notebooks for 5.5 years. So I was reading back on the time when you guys searched Mr. Logan's property, and Kim Riley, was it Kim's? And he was saying it was because some things didn't add up. Are we still looking at Mr. Logan as possibly involved?
At everything and all of it. We're looking at all of it. We said when this happened we were going to start all over.
So you never cleared him, Mr. Logan.
We haven't cleared anybody.
Talk about the decision to keep the PC closed.
Well, that's a part of this entire process. This is not a typical, usual homicide investigation, but they all matter. But this one is different. And Nick McClellan, the prosecutor here, has been a really good partner and made the decision to attempt to do that, and the judge agreed. So that's all I'm going to say about it.
Can you talk about what brought you to Mr. Allen?
No, I can't.
Can you talk about if he's related to Kevin Klein in any way?
I can't talk about any of the facts associated with the case. Emily, I can't.
The Patties confirmed to us that at one point Mr. Allen processed some photos for them at the local CVS and didn't make them pay for them. They there was a rumor out there, and they said, "Yep, that happened." Did you know that happened?
I didn't.
You always said, in every press conference when you brought up the video and the audio, and you addressed the killer several times and said, if you're here, do we know if he was ever in any of those rooms when you talked? Are you going back and looking at video or trying to see?
We're going to do everything we can possibly do.
The command center, that's long been closed, but are we going to reestablish a new command center
There's
now?
one there now. We moved from the big facility back to the city building and now to another facility near the square in downtown Delphi.
And so is that about to get even busier now?
We'll give them any resource they want. I'm not going to get involved in the production of a process from an investigative standpoint, but there will be no questions as to why. If they ask for a resource, they'll get it.
Who's the lead investigator, though, on this? Is it Carroll County? Is it you guys?
Yes.
Is it everybody?
Yes. It's a task force. We've been in a task force from the very beginning. This event happened in Carroll County, of course, but we've been unified since the very beginning, and we'll maintain that.
FBI, too? Are they still involved?
FBI and all federal agencies continue to be available to us.
How many, and over these past 5.5 years, where I was trying to find out overall how many tips before today had come in? Was it like tens of thousands?
70,000-ish. I should have gotten that this morning. I've said that a couple different times, but I think we're somewhere around 70,000 or just above that.
How about the reward? What was that up to?
Yeah, I think it was 340 or 350,000, I think, and we'll work through all those details as time goes on.
And to have come to Mr. Allen, is anyone in line to get any of that reward? Is there?
We're going to continue to work through those details.
Okay, so in other words, you can't say. Anything else that you want to add? I was reading last night in an interview, you said, this is the first time in a case that you could recall that you had audio, video of the person you thought was responsible. Do you think Mr. Allen is the man on that bridge?
The judge signed a probable cause affidavit for the arrest of him. I can't wait to tell the story, but today's not the day.
When do you think you can tell that story?
We're going to let the courts decide.
In other words, let them decide when they can release that PC.
Well, and then even then, remember, even then, when the PC is released, due process is still a piece of all this puzzle. And this isn't over until it's over. And that's where the conviction of him.
You said when I interviewed the 5-year anniversary, when we finally charge someone, that's when the real work is going to begin. That basically you have to start all over, essentially?
That's what, in essence, what they'll do. I can't think of a case in my lifetime in a long, long career that had that much information, that much data associated with one case. So the right thing to do is to go back to every one of them.
And you go back through all the tips you've gotten?
Exactly what they'll do.
Every single one since day one?
Yeah.
And maybe you already answered this. Do we know if you ever interviewed Mr. Allen in the past?
I'm not going to talk about Mr. Allen.
We've gotten several calls this week, since this broke, that, hey, what about the little girls in Flora? Are you still working on that case?
I wasn't going to say this today, and I've said it to a couple of networks, but when I took the long way here today, I stopped in Flora, and there's a gravel lot across from that house where those 4 little girls died, and I said to myself, I hope that one day we're doing the same thing for them. Still alive and well.
Anything else you want to add?
I'm tired.
What's your expression, your thoughts to this community, the people that are out walking the street? They're just going, man, finally, something.
No, I love that question, and I'm just going to make some assumptions, but I hope that they're not on edge anymore. I hope they're not looking around anymore, that they're afraid of going out to the High Bridge or to a park or getting on their bikes and taking off down a street or an alley or whatever that might be. No, give it to us. Give it to us. And we've been encouraging that, but it would be probably very unlikely for them just to say, okay, the sheriff's office and the city PD and the state police have this, we're not going to worry about it anymore. That's not what I'm asking them to do. But maybe today is that first step towards that next place of peace for them too, and I hope so.
It really changed the community.
It did. It did. Yeah. And this is, I think, one of the reasons it has such a global interest is because this is every small town in America. Yeah. And that's true. So we've tried to always remember that and talk about that and not forget the value of this work, no matter what color the shirt you're wearing. Yeah.